Today we are doing fractions 4. Welcome all the wonderful grade 3s. This week we are doing number lines in fractions. It works exactly like other number lines. A summary of fractions. Revision continues. Comparing fractions. You may use the fraction wall or you may use the butterfly method. 2 times 6 equals 12 and 3 times 5 equals 15. So 15 is greater than 12. It means that 3 over 6 is greater than 2 over 5. Adding of fractions with the same denominator. Only add the numerators and keep the denominators the same. 2/5 plus 1/5 equals 3/5. Improper fraction. This is when the numerator is greater than the denominator. For example, 5 over 3. Then you have to make it a mixed number and it equals to 1 whole 1 and 2 over 3. A summary of fractions. Revision. A fraction is part of a whole. There are 3 different kinds of fractions, namely 1. A proper fraction, 1 over 4. 2. An improper fraction, 9 over 4. And 3. Third, a mixed number, 2 and 1/4. The top number is the numerator. It counts, it numbers the colored part, and the bottom part is the denominator. The donkey, it shows me in how many different equal parts the whole is divided into. Numerator, this shows us how many parts are colored. Denominator, it shows us in how many equal parts we divided the whole. We learned the bigger the denominator, the bottom number, the smaller each piece or part is. Equivalent fractions means equal to. Show us that 2 fractions have the same. For example, a half is also 2 over 4, 3 over 6, 4 out of 8, and 5 over 10 equals to 6 over 12. A fraction number line. The fraction line goes from 0 to 1. Remember, fraction means a part of a whole. You count the spaces between the 0 and 1 and you will be able to identify the amount of pieces in which the whole is divided into. Remember to jump from one space to the next. On the first number line, there are 8 jumps. It is divided into 8. The second number line has 6 jumps. In other words, it is divided into 6. The last number line is only divided into 2 parts. The last fraction is the biggest of all of them. Fraction number line continues. You can determine the denominator by counting the jumps from 0 to 1. In other words, the fractions are divided into 6. The next line is divided into quarters, 4 over 4. Now the exciting part. we're going to do the half sum of BODMAS. When we do BODMAS, we first do the bracket, then half sums, then division and multiplication, then addition and subtraction. 1/4 of 28. We solve this problem in the following way. We say 1/4 of 28 equals 28 divided by 4 parts, which is 7, and then you times with 1, which is 7. So 1/4 of 28 equals 7. You divide the whole number into 4 parts and times it with the top number. Here is another example. 1/6 of 30 equals 30 divided by 6 equals 5 times 1 equals 5. 1/6 of 30 equals 5. Order of operations, BODMAS. Just to revise BODMAS. Bracket, or division, multiplication, addition and subtraction. You have done all the others except the R. To get a part or fraction of a number, you divide the number into the denominator and multiply with the numerator. I explain. When you have to get half of a packet of cards of 24 cards, you have to divide the 24 cards in half. You divide it by 2. 24 divided by 2 equals 12. 12 times 1 equals 12. Because I want one of the 2 parts. BODMAS. When we do BODMAS, we first do the bracket, then the half sum, then division and multiplication, and addition and subtraction. We solve this problem in the following way. 1/4 of 28 equals 28 divided by 4 equals 7 times 1. 1/4 of 28 equals 7. 7 times 1 equals 7. You divide the whole number into 4 parts and times it with the top number. Here is another example. 1/6 of 30. 30 divided by 6 groups equals 5 times 1. 1/6 of 30 equals 5. 5 times 1 equals 5. Half sums. For example, 1/4 of 12 equals 3. Half sums often has a bigger numerator than 1/4. For example, it's 3/4, 5/8, 7/10, or 3/5. 3/4 of 28 equals x. Now we follow the same steps. 3/4 of 28 equals 28 divided into 4 groups, which is 7 times the 3, which is the numerator, and that equals 21. 3/4 of 28 equals 21. You divide 28 divided by 4 times 3 equals 21. Here is another example. 3/6, which is also the same as 1/2 of 30 equals 30 divided by the denominator, which is 6. That equals 5 times 3, the numerator, which equals 15. 3/6 of 30 is 15, or a half of 30 equals 15. Now you can do many more examples and practice this. It is so easy if you know the steps, but you have to follow the steps. Divide by the denominator, times with the numerator. Thank you and enjoy.